Welcome back into another Dragon Ball Super card game video, and today I wanted to go through and continue my set 16 leaders with Yellow Trunks. This is going to be one of those decks that you'll probably see in the upcoming set, not only because that is going to be new, but because it's actually good. I don't know if this is going to be a direct replacement for Higher Dragon. I think this one sits right by Goku Black in set 16, because I don't think there's really too many other yellow leaders outside of Sin Shenron that can probably draw and as well as compete at a higher level. Draw as in the number of cards in hand, not like matches. If you haven't already, please go ahead and check out my other videos. Subscribe if you're new, and we do have a new tournament for Master Duel going on, so please sign up if you can in the description below. About the leader first. The leader is pretty straightforward, but it does have some pretty cool effects, and it enables a lot of the archetypal things that go on into the deck. And this is pretty much the only leader that can have those archetypal cards be played in that deck. Front side is that you swing, you draw. The activate main is that you get to awaken and basically flip over when you have a yellow Vegeta card, as in the character name, well, not the character name, but the character trait. You flip it over, you put it under the card, you flip it over, and then you get to draw one card and then add cards up until you have 6 in your life. Generally, you're doing this on turn 2. Usually you're at 7 because the opponent swung. So it's basically a draw 2 because you're drawing from the one from the deck and then 1 from the leader effect. You can also be at 4 or less and draw 2, but usually don't get to that point. On the backside, you get to draw when you swing. If you don't, you get to choose to play a Trunks Future, a Bulma Future, a yellow one and a yellow one, or a yellow Vegeta. And these are going to be the one drops we're going to take a look at in a second. And basically you use these to enable your combos and as well as evolve on top and play them for free, and then evolve on top afterwards for 1 energy. And then when you do EX Evolve, which pretty much the main cards, the 3 drops, do that, you get to draw 1. And the EX Evolve cards actually draw you a card too. So basically it's a draw 2. You basically want to do it every turn. Activate Battle works on both ends, where you get to place 1 card from the underneath the card into the drop area, and then you get 10k. Basically free 10k, and as well as double strike on their turn to take lethal. 25 double strike for free. It's quite nice. All right, let's go into the core cards of the deck, because you're going to see these quite a lot because they keep coming back. And I didn't mention on the leader side, but basically when you do use the leader effect when you swing, you get to play it from your drop or from your hand. And basically what we're going to be doing is playing these 1-drops, the 1-drop Trunks and as well as the 1-drop Vegeta. Both of them have barrier. The 3-drop Trunks does have barrier when you actually do evolve on top of it, and then the 3-drop Vegeta does not have barrier. It's always important to remember. Basically the 1-drops draw a card each, and then they play each other each as well. So the Trunks plays the Vegeta, and as well as the Vegeta plays the Trunks. Both of them have the option to, so you're gonna have to choose the option. And they also are able to play from the deck or the drop. Majority of the time early into the game, you always want to play from the deck, because then you can do thin out the deck, you're not going to draw them out, and then later into the game, you're always you're going to have the option to play from your drop, which is generally better anyway. We have the Bulma on the top right, where you could draw when you do play it, of course from the leader effect or when you pay 1, and then you also have the activate main, where you pitch the card from your hand. You can only do it once per turn because of the limit 1, and then you get to look at the top 7. You get to choose a yellow Trunks or a yellow Vegeta of 3 or less, which basically is all the cards that we have and is really good for the engine. People don't play the card. I play the card. I like consistency, and I like having a free searcher, free tutor, and it's top 7. It would be better if it was top 10, but top 7 is good enough. And then we have the evolve targets. So basically these guys evolve for 1, and you get to draw 2 because of the leader effect, 1 for the EX Evolve and 1 for the leader. This guy's a barrier blocker, 19k, which is very annoying. Not only because you can swing with it, but then at 15k on their end, they're gonna have to combo a card or even more depending on what they're swinging with. You get the draw again on top of these when you evolve, and then the once per turn on either side, an opponent plays a battle card or a unison card, you get to switch it to rest mode, and it is the first one when they play it. It's not, you can't choose it like a few other cards, like I think Natron. But this is good because when they play a battle card, you get to use the Vegeta effect, which is that when you swing with it, you get to choose up to 1 of the opponent's battle cards and then KO it in rest mode or in rest mode, and then KO it ignoring barrier. It's basically the combo, pretty simple, but it is really effective when you pair it up with other cards like Power of the Super Saiyan and the new extra card, Poutine, etc. These cards are pretty much your core and the things that you'll be seeing or want to see throughout the game, not only because it filters through, these are your attackers, these are your cards to play, and the things that you have to kind of figure out are when to use it from your hand, when to pay the one, and when to use a leader effect to pay them. And generally, when you have these guys in active mode, they usually don't get KO'd unless you're going against like Red Goku. Then you want to immediately evolve on top. They also switch to active mode because the leader effect plays out the 1-drops in rest mode, and then the secondary effects for the 1-drops play them, but you don't get the draw because it's a non-keyword effect. So these guys are in active mode when you play the secondary effect, and then the leader effect is in rest mode, and you get to restand them when you evolve on top. Takes a little getting used to, but it is pretty quick to pick up once you do get it, that is. And then lastly is the 8-drop here, which is cool because it's a critical 35k per 2 on 3 energy, and you choose 1 Vegeta and 1 yellow Trunks, and you get to play this card from your hand and then place them underneath. So if you evolve on top of these 2 cards, and then you get the 3-drop and the other 3-drop, you actually take all the cards underneath over to the 8-drop. So that's really good because now you have 4 targets for the secondary effect, which is activate battle, place 2 cards underneath the card in the drop area, draw 1, and then KO 2 of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode. And then this gains triple strike for the turn, which is great because it is activate battle, which it's really good just in general. Final Flash is something that is susceptible, or this is susceptible to Final Flash, but it is good because now it's a 35k, KO 2, draw 1, and then you also have a secondary one, or a secondary effect if you have 2 of the evolved targets underneath. It's just per card. But overall, pretty good. I've gone down to 1. You'll see the deck list in a second, but this is just not great to have multiples because of the 1 cost, and you're really only going to be doing it once, even though it is a pretty cheap card and a pretty cheap boss card. It just doesn't have any protection. All right, let's talk about some of the cards that came into the yellow set and might help you here, other than the extra card, which is just really good in general. The 1-drop here is a tutor card that looks at the top 5. You get a yellow Saiyan or a 1 yellow unison card, energy cost of, or specified energy cost of 1, add it to your hand. And then activate main is Spirit Boost, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, energy cost of 2 in rest mode, and then KO it. I don't think it's particularly strong, even though it might be okay with the Trunks, but you draw enough, so you don't really need too many tutors really, other than the Bulma if you do play one. But I can see you play this, especially if you play other yellow Saiyans. By opposing the Divine, Egg really likes this card, but I don't. I think she's kind of useless. So you draw ones in bottom decks one. The -4 is that you draw 1 and then you choose 2 battle cards in rest mode, and they can't be switched to active mode, which is a nice lock effect. Then power is 3, which again, a lot of these Empower cards you're replacing already, like a better unison than what it really is, and this is one of those things where you don't want to with this specified, or this specific card. You add a marker when you use EX Evolve, but this is in kind of a weird slot, even being at 1, because even at like turn 2 or 3 you want to do other plays and not waste 1 energy, because that 1 energy is used for Final Flash or Power Super Saiyan, or this extra card on the right, which is an activate battle. Your battle card is yellow, you choose 1, or your leader card is yellow, choose 1 of your cards and gains 10k, which can be your unison or really any of the cards that you use. And then if it's your turn, you KO something in rest mode, or if it's your opponent's turn, you draw 1 and then you get to tap down 2. This is a really strong card in yellow, probably going to be played as a staple. Don't know how many. I personally play, I think 2 or 3 in this, but just really good for Mecha Frieza, and as well as just drawing and a 1 cost 10k that taps down 2, which is just nuts. All right, let's go to my list. If you skip to this, well, let me know what you think about the list and post yours and compare, and maybe watch the rest of the video. Basically, as you can tell, 4 of the Trunks, 2 of the Goku and Vegeta, or the Goku Vegeta, Trunks and Vegeta. I did add Basil, is really good just because most of the time you're gonna be tapping down things. Mega Frieza is a staple in yellow at this point. You play plenty of extra cards between Final Flash, Frieza Army Reinforcements, the Goku Black extra card, as well as Power of the Super Saiyan, which you're never going to charge since this is a 1-of now. Careless all too easily, and as well as Goku, both of them are just yellow good stuff, not too much to talk about there. Bergamo at 1 feels a little bit weird because even if you play it at 1, you kind of just don't want to play it at all. But it procs off of the Trunks here and as well as Poutine. And the reason why you play both, in my opinion, is that Trunks procs off the first thing that they do, and Poutine gets to choose between the skill and as well as the counter. So those are two different things, honestly, because you can just tap down their unison, and then as well as you play something with a skill or the negate, then you just tap down one of their battle cards. And this is really good against like bigger monsters, or at least battle cards, too much Master Duel, battle cards where something like the 8-drop or the new red Goku gets put down. You may lose your board, but then you get to tap it down with the Poutine, and now it's not going to swing twice, and now it's not going to look at your hand as well. I think Frieza armor reinforcements can probably go to 3, especially with Frieza, and as well as just having a high life total. You just kind of want to see it. I think the Trunks is good at 2. You can probably side another one that's really good against Dark Power Massan, which is one of the things that are kind of annoying, you know, with this deck basically. And then finally against Fate, you don't really want to use too much Overwhelm, simply because you're going to be using the effects from the drop with your leader and as well as the 1-drops. And then Pan, because you're just going to have a lot of battle cards. There's not really too much you can say about that. Here's some other cards you can probably play and consider. The Dependables, say in Trunks, and as well as the other Trunks where you can evolve on top. Again, another tutor is okay, but it's not really needed, since the things that you actually do want to see are the evolve targets and as well as the things that you evolve on top. So Bulma kind of fits that slot. If you really want to go through here and you have more Yellow Saiyans than you can think of, and you want to search Turtles or whoever, then yeah, use that. This guy is not great because you get to play it at 4 unless you play the whole engine, which is gonna be a little too clunky. You're already playing something that's dedicated to the leader, so you probably don't want to do this. If you find a different way to play this for cheap, let me know. Return of the Fist I don't play, simply because I'd rather play the other card. Even though this guy has deflect, I'd rather play the Vegeta Trunks boss card than this guy, probably because we only play 2 unison. It's not gonna be very consistent, so that's pretty much it. And finally, we have the 1-drop slug and as well as the 3-drop slug. I think both of these are really good. I think you can't really go wrong, especially with the barrier blockers and as well as the barrier cards that you have already. Plus Poutine. I mean, I've always said that the 3-drop slug needed to be banned or at least limited. I still stand by that, honestly, and I think that's probably why I just didn't include it. Plus, you already have a lot of cards in the deck. I just didn't want to make it too clunky. But really good. It's a really strong card. I would consider it. And then we also have Vegeta, Unison, and Fury. I don't think you mainboard this. I think you mainboard the Trunks instead. But if you're playing the pre-side as well as a Fest, then this might be good to have in your side, just depending on what you want to do. Let's talk about turns. The first turn you're playing a Vegeta, especially if you want to awaken turn 2, which you basically want to, being a 15k leader and having a bigger hand than your opponent. It's good. Or you play the Trunks and you play it out from the deck. That's pretty much the things that you want to mulligan for, and as well as just play out so you can awaken. Then your turn 2 is to evolve on one of them, just depending on what you have out or what you draw into. By turn 2, you're going to have enough energy to either swing and then play out another Trunks or Vegeta and then play out a target for that, and then evolve on both of them so that way you can draw 3. It's going to be what, +2 I think at that point, or +1, either one. I can't do math. Oh no, +2. It doesn't matter. Just draw as much as you can so you can filter out through your deck. Speaking of, as you draw, you can play the Bulma, find more targets, etc. Then turn 3 and onwards, you basically play yellow good stuff in playing the Trunks, the other Trunks and Vegeta, depending on if you even play it or not, and then as well as All Too Easy. A lot of, competitive players will probably play or lean towards All Too Easy, and as well as cheaper cards, because you're giving up your Trunks and Vegeta for the 8-drop, which doesn't have protection. So it's really specific in what you want to do. Because if you're going against a mirror, you're just going to get Goku counterplayed or Final Flash. It really just depends. Okay, that is it. Please go ahead and check out my other set 16 videos, and as well as the other stuff I've been working on, like Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, and as well as the tournaments that are coming up. If you want to watch, or if you want me to do videos on anything else, please let me know in the comments below. Like, dislike, and all the other stuff. I'll see you.